Let's talk about the scope of the problem you inherited here. My Democratic friends said that sensible immigration is what they've been pursuing, talked about the Gang of Eight and a lot of things I've worked on with. Would you say that the 4 years of Biden was sensible immigration?
No.
I wouldn't either. I would say it's obliteration of the border. 11 million people came into this country during President Biden's term. He obliterated all controls. We sent them all over the country in planes, trains, and automobiles. And what's the scope of the problem you inherited? How would you describe the mess that Biden gave you very quickly?
Our country was in a chaotic time and invaded over our southern border. Millions and millions of people came into this country.
For 11,000
unvetted.
murderers, right?
Yes, that is correct.
2,700% increase in people on the terrorist watch list, right?
That's correct.
During his 4 years, President Biden allowed 2,700% increase of people on the terrorist watch list to come into this country. In 2023, 172. Do you know where those people are?
No, not
So
necessarily.
we don't know where they are. They're here, but we don't know where they are because they didn't care if they came and they haven't really looked very hard. So sensible immigration died on Biden's watch. It was replaced by out of control, open border, just absolute chaos. And to all the people in the front row that have lost loved ones, I am sorry. Your family members are a victim of an out-of-control, Democratic-led effort to obliterate the border, and every senator on this side of the aisle, that side of the aisle, did nothing about it. Now, they want to talk to you about problems we've had. Are these shootings being investigated in Minnesota?
Yes, they are.
They should be investigated in Minnesota. We want to have orderly processes. How would you say being an ICE agent is right now, the stress they're under?
I think it's unprecedented for them every day.
I think it's miserable. I think it's just a tough, tough job right now. And if they go too far, we will hold them accountable. But I just want the country to know these men and women who are trying to solve this problem that was created by our Democratic colleagues, you have no idea the mess they inherited. This country was overrun by illegal immigrants, murderers, rapists, and just average, everyday people. How many people did Barack Obama deport when he was president?
The total, I
3
don't know, but
million.
it was more than us.
How many of them were violent criminals? So when a Democrat deports somebody who's here illegally, that's good government. When a Republican does it, we're Nazis and fascists. If you're here illegally, are you entitled to stay?
No.
They would allow you to stay. I want you to understand that these people have no interest in cleaning up this mess. In 2026, we're going to have an election about this, and they're openly saying, unless you're a violent criminal, you should be allowed to stay here. Is embezzlement a violent crime?
No.
Is it a crime without a victim?
Yes.
If somebody steals your stuff, even though they don't do it through force, is that a crime with a victim?
Yes.
So all of the Lakin Riley, I think she was murdered by a man who was actually in custody. Are you familiar with the Lakin Riley case?
Yes, I am.
Okay, she's a young lady about 60 miles from where I live. The man who murdered her was in custody, was detained by DHS, but was released because they had no bed space in Texas. He went to New York and committed a bunch of crimes. He winds up in Georgia and he murders this young lady. He was in our control. He was released not because he wasn't dangerous, because we had no place to put him. Do you agree those days are over?
Yes.
Do you agree the most secure border in American history has been achieved by you and those under your control?
Yes.
Working with President Trump. Are you proud of that?
I am proud of that.
So we're down to like nobody coming across. We went from a invasion to almost nobody. And I hope the American people appreciate that's a good thing for you. Now we're engaged in military action against the mothership of terrorism, Iran, which I hope will sink pretty soon. Do you think the threat level against the United States is up or down when it comes to radical Islamic terrorists?
It's up.
It's up?
Yep.
So you mean they actually maybe don't want to come here and hit us because we hit them in Iran? I don't think you have to be, a general to figure that out. Is the Coast Guard without funding?
portions of it. We're keeping some of the salaries paid, but
So there's no funds in the appropriation bill for the Coast Guard. Is that correct?
that is correct.
Because your agency is not being funded. It's the one part of the appropriations bill where we haven't agreed on funding. Is that correct?
Correct.
So FEMA, no money, right? Coast Guard, no money. Really? Really? ICE, they have money because of the bill we did before. The Secret Service, are these people being paid?
Yes, they are.
They're being paid, but do we have money?
Our law enforcement is paid, but their resources, their administrative
They're not
staff,
being
their
paid out of
contracting.
appropriated funds
Correct.
this year, right?
Correct.
So in the appropriations process, we've got no new money for the Secret Service. Does that make any sense to anybody in America? Can we not understand America is under siege now? Likely to be attacked because radical Islam is under siege and they're going to hit back. And we're sitting here looking at each other and not funding DHS. If you want to reform ICE, great. Count me in. If you want to make DHS more professional, count me in. If you want to investigate bad shootings, count me in. If you don't want to do away with sanctuary cities, count me out. What's a sanctuary city?
A city that protects itself from our federal immigration efforts in their city.
Are there sanctuary cities and states in this country?
Yes, there are.
Look at this chart. There are 200 plus sanctuary counties. There are 12 sanctuary states. 8 million illegal immigrants reside in sanctuary jurisdictions in defiance of federal law. A sanctuary city refuses to turn over to the federal government people that are subject to deportation. Is that correct?
Correct.
They make a choice, these sanctuary states, counties, cities, not to cooperate with federal officials, and the laws have been on the book long before Donald Trump, right?
Correct.
Do you think it would be good for the country to abolish sanctuary cities and states?
I do.
Do you believe as long as they exist, it will be a magnet for future immigration, illegal immigration?
Yes, I do.
So if you're a legal immigrant and you can get to one of these sanctuary cities, states, or towns, you believe you'll never leave. Until you fix this, you're going to have illegal immigrant magnets. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Would you urge the Congress to abolish sanctuary cities
Yes, I would, sir.
and sanctuary states? When it comes to the threat level against our homeland, how would you characterize it right now?
Right now, I would say, sir, that we should have our every efforts within the Department of Homeland Security out protecting people 24/7, because we face not just enemies from overseas that threaten our way of life and our American values. The Biden administration let them here. They let them in our borders. They're in our hometowns. They are unvetted. Thousands and thousands of people that are dangerous criminals, gang members, known and
Who's this
suspected
guy?
terrorists.
Who's this guy?
He is the man that conducted the horrific act down in Austin.
Okay, what country did he come from?
I think Senegal.
Okay, and he was killed in Austin, Texas, right?
He was.
And the shirt said what?
Property of Allah.
Property of Allah. And when you went to his house, you found a what kind of flag?
Iranian flag.
Iranian flag. Wonder how many people are like that here, waiting to pounce. And DHS doesn't have appropriated funds. This is insane. There are more people like this. We obliterated our borders. 1.7 million people came into this country from countries that were designated to be a problem. Special interest aliens. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, I am.
So 1.7 million came from countries that would make you a special interest alien because the nature of the country. Libya, Nigeria, North Korea, Afghanistan, China, Cuba. Do you know where those 1.7 million people are?
Not all of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where they are either. But they let them in. We don't know where they are. They came from countries that are so dicey. We made you a special interest alien if you came from those countries. So we're having a hearing here. I'd like to make ICE more professional. I'd like to make sure if there was a bad shooting, it's documented as such and people pay a price. But I will not apologize to anybody in this room to try to clean up the mess that Biden started and you empowered. We've got to deal with this. We've been invaded. Only God knows how many people are here and what they're up to, and we're not going to stop. We're going to learn, but we're not going to stop because America is under siege, and the idea we're not defunding DHS is insane, criminally insane.